Hello guys, welcome to my fourth class of module 5. Now let us discuss one of the different type of problem based on quadratic form. Now before going to take the problem, first you have to know what are the steps I have to follow to solve such type of problems. Okay, conversion of quadratic form into quadratic form with no cross product term means we have to they given already quadratic form, again we are going to convert into in terms of the quadratic form, that what we get the resultant new quadratic form, we that quadratic form they don't have no cross product term, means just like they don't have a term x1 x2 x2 x3 x1 x3 like that. They're having only x1 square x2 square x3 square like that. Are you clear? Therefore, conversion of they given beginning quadratic form and then we have to convert in which form, again quadratic form. That new quadratic form they don't have any cross product term, means x1 into x2 term, x1 into x3 term, etc. Okay, what are the steps I have to follow? I have to convert quadratic form into quadratic form with they don't have no cross product terms. Okay, step 1. Reduce the quadratic form in the matrix form. Very first step, we have to convert the given quadratic form into matrix form. Second step, find the eigenvalues and eigenvectors and corresponding normalized vectors. Yeah, you know how to find out the eigenvalues. Once you convert in the form of matrix from the quadratic form to matrix form, in the second step, you find out the eigenvalues, eigenvectors and corresponding normalized vectors. You know that how to find out normalized vectors. Once you get the v1, v2, v3 are the vectors, how to normalize v1 by norm of v1, v2 by norm of 2, etc. Yeah. In the step 3, what we are going to do? In the step 3 here, form a matrix P with normalized vectors. You already know that in the diagonalize for the, suppose the given matrix is a symmetric matrix, we are doing like that only, right? Up to this step, the same thing you already know that where in the first video of the module 5. Suppose the given matrix is a symmetric matrix, how to diagonalize. Here also we have to do up to till step 4 like that only, right? And then form a P with normalized vector. And then you find P transpose A into P is equal to D. How to diagonalize for symmetric matrix. Same steps we are telling that, okay? After that, for fifth step, because again I have to narrate a new quadratic form, that quadratic form don't have cross product terms. Finally, Y transpose D into Y gives quadratic form with no cross product. Finally, they give I have to multiply this what about that diagonalized matrix whose diagonal values are eigenvalues of A. Then we have to replace Y transpose into D into Y, that give rise quadratic form with no cross product. Therefore, how is possible? We are look how is possible. Therefore, I am explaining here. Q of x is equal to x transpose into A into x. You already know that how to narrate quadratic form in terms of the matrix. This is a formula we already discussed in my previous video. X transpose A into x. Put x is equal to py. Once you put x is equal to py, now what we get? Py transpose, py whole raised to the transpose A into py. You know that AB transpose is nothing but B transpose into A transpose. Like that, Py transpose is nothing but Y transpose into P transpose. Now Y is a matrix, P is a matrix, P transpose is a matrix, A is a matrix, P is a matrix, Y is a matrix. You know that associative property holds good. Means A of B into C is nothing but AB into C under the multiplication is holds good for the matrix multiplication, but commutative property does not holds good. Means AB is not equal to BA. But here associative. Therefore, instead of this, what we are going to do, I am grouping P transpose into A into P. That is, you know, the D. Now that is nothing but Y transpose D into Y give rise our Q of x. This is a way to find out quadratic form. From the quadratic form, we are narrating a new quadratic form. That new quadratic form, they don't have any cross product terms. Cross product terms are x1 into x2, x2 into x3, like that. Now, what are the steps I have to follow? The steps up to narrating diagonalize use. Suppose the given matrix is a symmetric matrix. How to narrate diagonalize diagonalize. From the diagonalize, how to narrate the diagonal matrix. Same steps up to 3, up to 4. After that, what we are going to do, that final conclusion is, once we get D, then you have to multiply y transpose into D into y. That give rise new quadratic matrix with they don't have any cross product terms. I think it's very clear. Before moving to the problem, how to convert quadratic form into quadratic form without having any cross product terms. How to diagonalize. Suppose the given matrix is a symmetric matrix, same step we are going to use. After that, what we are going to do, then you take what we get the resultant diagonalized matrix whose diagonal values are eigenvalues of A, you multiplied with y transpose into D into y. Finally, we get our resultant quadratic form without cross product terms. Okay. Now let us move to the problems. Now here I am considering two problems. Now observe carefully. Convert the quadratic form q of x equals x1 square minus 8x1 x2 minus 5x2 square into quadratic form with no cross product terms. See, please try to understand here. In the given quadratic form, they are having a cross product term. One of the term is nothing but what? Minus 8x1 into x2. Now I have to convert again the new quadratic form with they don't have any cross product term. Now what's the step? First you take the given quadratic form. What's the given quadratic form? They given x1 square minus 8x1 x2 minus 5x2 square. First you narrate our A. You know that we already discussed in the previous video how to narrate our matrix from the quadratic form. X1 square coefficient is 1, x2 square is 2. This is a 2 cross 2 matrix. These two minus x2 square is what's the coefficient is minus 5. Suppose any term having negative sign, you take along with the quotient. Then these two replace it in the principal diagonal 1 minus 5. This is a cross product term divided by 2 minus 4 minus 4. Now we get immediately our required matrix. Once we get a matrix and then you find out the eigenvalues, you write the determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. You know that how to solve this. You narrate quadratic expression, then you have to 1 minus lambda I minus 4 minus lambda minus 5. Determinant of that and simplify that. Finally, we are expecting how many roots? 2 roots. We get what are the 2 roots we are expecting? Yes, here the first, there are 2 roots are minus 7 and 3 are the roots. Because why minus 7, 3 are the roots? Because here what's a lambda plus 7 into lambda minus 3. Therefore, what are the 2 eigenvalues are 3 and minus 7. Then I have to substitute one by one eigenvalues, wherein matrix of A minus lambda I into matrix of X is equal to matrix of 0. You substitute the value for this is our matrix, what I told, A minus lambda I matrix. Okay, substitute lambda 1 is equal to 3 in this matrix, and then you write the system of equation. You know how to write the system of equation from the matrix form. Once you write that, using these two, try to find out the whatever that eigenvalue. You know that how to find out. What is my x1 is 2 minus 1. Now lambda 2 is equal to minus 7. You find out another eigen. You substitute and simplify that. Finally, we get another eigenvalue. Eigenvector is 1, 2. One of the eigenvector is 2 minus 1. Another one is 1, 2. Now the corresponding normalized vector. After once you find out the eigenvector, you find out the corresponding normalized vector. What is my corresponding normalized vector? Why I take a normalized vector? If you want to multiply x1, inner product of x1 comma x2, you take inner product of x1 comma x2 is nothing but x1 transpose of x2. 2 minus 1, 1, 2. Multiplied that, we get 2 minus 2. What we get actually? 0. Therefore, inner product of x1 comma x2 must be 0. Both x1 x2 are orthogonal vectors. Now I have to normalize that vector, right? I am not done that part because you already know that we have to go for normalize means before that I have to know whether these two vectors are in orthogonal vectors or not. Inner product of x1 comma x2, verify that. Definitely we get is 0. I am late for that for the students only, because you know that. Next you write the corresponding normalized vector. What's my normalized vector? Well, then x1 is actually 2 minus 1. What is a normal value of this? Root of 2 square minus 1 whole square, we get root 5. Then I have to multiply it by 1 by root 5. Here also we get root 5. These two are the normalized vectors, say u1 and u2. Why you have taken u1 and u2? Suppose you take it same x1, x2, you are confusing. Therefore, we are going to take u1. u1 is nothing but first column of p. u2 is nothing but second column of p. This is a way to narrate p. You already know that whenever the given matrix is symmetric matrix, how to diagonalize? Same thing. Multiply p transpose a into p. Finally, we get our resultant diagonal matrix whose diagonal values are eigenvalues of A. Yeah, what are the eigenvalues of A? 3 and minus 7. Okay, next step is Q of x is equal to x transpose A into x. What is my x transpose? Is A py transpose of A into py is nothing but y transpose into p transpose A into p. Group it, this is nothing but D. Then what is my y is nothing but is a column vector, is taking number of unknown is depending upon order of the matrix. What's the order of the matrix? Is 2. Therefore, how many unknowns are expecting here? 2, y1, y2 in that row. This is column. Multiply that. You know how to multiply 3y1 minus 7y2. Again multiplied with y1, y2. We get 3y1 square minus 7y2 square. Observe, we get a quadratic form without any cross product terms. This is a way to find out what about the without cross product term from quadratic form, suppose having a cross product terms. Similarly, I am going to take another one problem. This problem I am going to move a little bit fast because just now it's clear in the first problem. Again, you take one of the quadratic form 3x1 square plus 3x2 square plus 2x1 x2. Here also they are having one of the cross product term is x1 x2. Find the change of variable that transform Q into quadratic form with no product terms and give a new quadratic form. Means because here we have x1, x2, x1, x2, but finally we are narrating a new quadratic form without cross product term, not for the same variable x1, x2. We are taken in the previous problem, the new variables are y1, y2. That's why they return. Find the change of variables that transform. Change of variables that transform Q into quadratic form with no cross product term and give the new quadratic form. Are you clear? Means because in the previous problem you don't get it new quadratic form in terms of same variable. We get new variables are y1, y2. That's it. They're asking like that. That's okay. First you take a quadratic form. You write it in the form of matrix. What are the coefficient of x1 square, x2 square? 3, 3. That comes in principal diagonal. You divide this cross product value by 2. We get 1, 1. Substitute. Find out the characteristic equation. Find out the roots. We get the roots are eigenvalues are 4 and 2. Therefore, now I have to take one by one eigenvalues to substitute in the matrix of A minus lambda I into matrix of X is equal to matrix of 0. Substitute lambda is equal to 4. You narrate the equations, we get the one corresponding eigenvector is 1, 1. You again I have to substitute lambda is equal to 2 where here. Then we get what actually 1, 1, 1, 1 and then this. Simplify that. We get another one vector is minus 1, 1 or 1 minus 1 if you choice you take. Here I taken x1 is minus x2 or if you want to take x2 is equal to minus x1. The corresponding normal. Now why I am going to use suddenly corresponding normalized vector 100% we say that this must be no need to verify x1 the corresponding inner product of eigenvectors are orthogonal. If you want to check it, x1 inner product of x1 comma x2 must be equal to 0 because minus 1 plus 1 we get 0 because we are finding what about that this matrix based on the transformation what x transpose A into x. Therefore, definitely what are the vectors eigenvalues we get from that matrix, definitely that matrix itself is what actually. Please try to understand. Don't confuse with what about given matrix symmetric, how to diagonalize. Sometimes while doing diagonalize, some of the vectors is not what about that is not orthogonal, especially for repeated roots. Lambda is equal to 7, 7, we get 2 repeated roots. In that case, x2, x3 is not orthogonal. Then we have find out orthogonal by using Gram-Schmidt process. Okay. Here confidently say that inner product of x1 comma x2 itself is 0. Orthogonal, next you find out normalized vector. You know how to find a normalized, you replace it in P, take the P P transpose. You know why you taken P transpose here? Why? Because here the given what about u1 u2, what you framing u P is nothing but u1 and u2. u1 u2 are nothing but orthogonal normalized vector. Orthogonal normalized vector. Therefore P inverse is nothing but P transpose, and also the given matrix is a what? Symmetric matrix. You please observe it. Okay. Now and multiply with the P transpose into A into P. Finally, we get D. D is a matrix, is a diagonal matrix whose diagonal values are A. Change the variable in X. X transpose A into X is nothing but Py. X is equal to Py. Therefore, I take it Py transpose. Simplify that. P transpose, what about that? A into P is nothing but D. Therefore, I have to substitute D and then multiply y1 by 2. Then simplify that. Finally, we get 4y1 square plus 2y2 square is the new quadratic form. Are you clear? I think I think is clear based on these two problems. How to convert the given quadratic form into new quadratic form without having any cross product terms. But given quadratic form, basically they have a cross product term. How to eliminate, to rewrite that quadratic form having without cross product terms. Now that's the thing. Up to diagonalize the same thing. After that, I have to multiply the new variable y transpose into d into y. That gives rise the new quadratic form without cross product terms. Okay. Now I'm moving to the next thing. Next concept is a constraint optimization. Yeah, constraint optimization. Yeah, I'll move to the next one. The next one is actually constraint optimization. We please try to understand. This is one of important and very important thing. They're going to ask the question based on that also. If you want to open your model paper or fast to your question papers. Constraint optimization. Please try to understand optimization. You already studied optimization where in the calculus, differential calculus in engineering mathematics. Because you already know that how to find out maximum minimum for one variable, how to find out maximum minimum for two variables. After that, how to find out the maximum minimum for more than two variables. For that method is called Lagrange's undetermined multipliers. Once you observe, if suppose you forgotten that, you open the textbook for engineering mathematics for Grewal, they have Lagrange's undetermined multipliers problem. In the problem, whenever you just observe that, when you're talking optimization means what? You are finding the minimum and maximum, are finding minimum or maximum value. Optimal means you are finding minimum, we are find out the minimum, you have to minimize the function or maximize the function, sometimes of both also. It's depending upon what type of function they provide in the problem. That is optimization is nothing but actually, especially for undetermined Lagrange's undetermined multipliers. There you already observed that one of the simple point I think everyone you observed. That point is whenever talking about the find out maximize and minimize the problem. Suppose the given function involving more than two variables, at least they provide one constraint. That constraint is nothing but condition. Based on find the minimize the function x square plus y square plus z square subject to the condition x plus y plus z is equal to 1. Observe carefully whenever they try to find out maximize or minimize, that is nothing but optimization. I have to find out there that at least they provide one condition. That is condition is nothing but constraints. Sometimes they are going to give two conditions. This is nothing but two constraints they given. And also observe another one problem. Whenever they involving another one important point. Whenever the given function involving only one variable, they are asking find the extremities or find the extreme values, means find out minimum, maximum, like that. Suppose involving two variables also, they are going to ask to find out find the extremities or find the maximum minimum value of that they mentioned. But whenever the given function involving more than two variables, For example, involving 3 variables or 4 variables or 5 variables. In such cases, the problem itself they mentioned minimize the function x square plus y square plus z square, or maximize the function x square plus y square plus z square subject to the condition x plus y plus z is equal to a, like that. Definitely they provide at least one constraint, and also in the problem itself is mentioned what they expecting, either they expecting minimize value or maximize value. Extension of that is nothing but optimization. Those who are coming from mechanical background, those who are now coming from computer science, those who are coming from electronics, in every field you know that OR, operation research, there you are study optimization. Therefore no need I to explain much time. Yeah, you observe this point what I told you already. Study optimization whenever involving more than 2 variables, definitely in the problem itself is mentioned maximize or minimize, and also they provide at least one constraints, that is constraint optimization. Here we are finding constraint optimization based on quadratic form, that's all. The process of finding maximum and minimum value of the quadratic form of a maximum of the matrix Q of x by using the given condition is called constraint optimization. Yeah, better I'll come and discuss this constraint optimization in next my video, because once you exceed 20 minutes, sometimes they go into off. Before come and meet next video, please remember what I explained constraint optimization. I'm going to start in next video from the definition of constraint optimization. But every story I told, before I'm going to wind up that, keep in mind, if you want to open the textbook, if you find out maximum minimum extremities, they asking for 1 and 2 variables extremities, like that. Whenever the given function involving more than 2 variables, they mention in the problem itself, find the maximum value or find the minimum value of x square plus y square plus z square subject to the condition x plus y plus z is equal to a. Observe 2 points. One is in the problem itself they mention find what they expect in minimize or maximum value, and also they provide at least one constraint. Why? Because without constraint, giving constraint you can't proceed. That is nothing but extension of Lagrange's undetermined multipliers is nothing but optimization. Thank you very much for listening my talk, my video. Please go through very carefully. I'll come and discuss in the next class constraint optimization. Bye. See you and take care.